Last night, the state of Oklahoma executed Clayton Lockett. In 1999, Clayton Lockett physically assaulted, kidnapped, and shot Stephanie Newman, and then had an accomplice bury her alive in a shallow grave. He also repeatedly raped a second woman. He was convicted in a fair trial by a jury of his peers. He was then sentenced to death. He appealed the execution, and that appeal was rejected by both the Oklahoma Supreme Court and the Oklahoma Court of Criminal Appeals. He had his day in court. I believe the legal process worked. I believe the death penalty is an appropriate response and punishment to those who commit heinous crimes against their fellow men and women. However, I also believe the state needs to be certain of its protocols and its procedures for executions and that they work. For that reason, I've asked last night for a review of the Department of Corrections execution protocols. After consulting further with the Department of Corrections Director, Robert Patton, we agree that an independent review of the Department of Corrections procedures would be effective and also appropriate. Therefore, I've also asked the Department of Public Safety and our Commissioner, Michael Thompson, to lead an independent review of the state's execution procedures. And that review will focus on three different things. First of all, Clayton Lockett's cause of death. Commissioner Thompson has informed me that the State Medical Examiner's Office will authorize an independent pathologist to make that determination. Second, the review will determine whether or not the Department of Corrections follow the current protocol for executions. And third, Commissioner Thompson will develop recommendations to improve execution protocols for the Department of Corrections. I expect the review process to be deliberate, to be thorough, and it will be the first step in evaluating our state's execution protocols. My office and the Department of Corrections will communicate with the Attorney General's office on any possible additional steps in the future that might need to be taken. To allow for Commissioner Thompson's review process to be completed before any further executions, last night I also issued an executive order staying the execution of Charles Warner until May 13th. I have not given Commissioner Thompson a deadline to complete the review. If he has not completed the review by May 13th, an additional stay will be issued at that time. If there are adjustments that he needs to make or that need to be made to the state's execution protocols, those adjustments will be made. Charles Warner also had his day in court. He committed a horrible crime, physical abuse, rape, and murder of an 11-month-old baby. His fellow Oklahomans have sentenced him to death, and we expect that sentence to be carried out as required by law. So I appreciate all of you coming today, and thank you for your attendance. Thank you.